Hello creeps! Andy here, and if you guys didn't know, I buy a lot of books and I make a lot of book haul videos, like a ridiculous amount of them. So today I thought that I would go through my bookshelf and find the best books that I've ever found thrifting or at my used bookstore. And I've come up with quite a selection here. And so I'm really excited to share these books with you. If you have seen all of my book videos, then you'll have seen these. But I thought that it would be nice to have just like one place of my favorite books. I have so many books and I found so many amazing ones at my used bookstore. So this is by no means all of them. If you want me to do a part 2, please let me know. I would definitely love to do that, especially because I wasn't able to find every book that I was thinking of. This is kind of just like the first one over on my bookshelves. I selected the books that I thought were the coolest, the most interesting. Here we go. They are mostly horror, creepy, thriller books, but there are a few that aren't. Mostly it's just horror books. Are we surprised? Let's start with this guy. This is the annotated Dracula. Now, this one I got not that long ago. I've definitely looked through it, but I have not read it all. It has this story, Dracula, in it, so Bram Stoker's Dracula. But there's also annotations. Let me just tell you what they include because it is so cool. It says hundreds of annotations that run side by side with large text, the most remarkable illustrations ever created for a volume of this sort, more than 100 additional drawings and photographs, 8 pages of detailed maps tracing Count Dracula's gory progress victim by victim, a detailed calendar of events plotted against the quarters of the moon, an instant guide to every scene where Count Dracula makes an appearance, a selected filmography from 1922's Nosferatu all the way to Dracula 1974, and then an additional analysis of the book and much, much more. So this is one of my favorite books that I've ever found. I thought that this was so unique, so original. I've never seen anything like it. And this was only $5. It's beautiful, it's fantastic. I love this book so much. I haven't gone through and read it all through yet, but I'm very excited to sit down and do that. And then next up here, this might seem a little silly in comparison, but this is the Horrific A to Z. This is an alphabetic collection of all things horror, and this was only $1.50. It's written like a kid's book, but it has pictures and information from each of these horror elements. So for example, F is for Frankenstein, H is for Hannibal Lecter, and it gives information on that. Some stuff that I didn't even know about stories, and I just thought that this was so cool. So I found this and I was like, I have to have it now. The next one that I have here, so those were half off. They're half off on Fridays when I go in to buy them, but books like this are not half off. So this was $8, but well worth every penny. This is Milton's Paradise Lost. And Paradise Lost is an epic poem by John Milton. And this guy, so it has, you know, the poem here, but it also has illustrations that go along with it. This is one of the coolest books that I've found. I have Paradise Lost here. Drop that. I have Paradise Lost here. So I didn't necessarily need this book, but this is just such a beautiful, cool display book, something to browse through. It's obviously not a copy I would mark up or highlight or anything, even though it is a little bit damaged, but I don't even care. I love this book. I am so happy to have it. The next book here is called There is a Serpent in Eden, and this is by Robert Bloch, who's the writer of Psycho, but this is actually my favorite Robert Bloch book. The character development in this is just fantastic. But the reason why it's on this list is because, that's right, it is a signed copy. And I think it's actually Robert Bloch's signature. It doesn't have a tag on it, but I paid $1 or $2 max for this book. For a signed Robert Bloch copy. I highly suggest looking to see if you come across a signed copy, because this is not the only book that I have found signed. And I mean, I don't know for sure if it obviously didn't come with like a certificate saying for sure it's a signed copy, but it looks like it is. So I don't know, let me know what you guys think, but a fantastic find regardless. So next up here, this is The Life of Hunter S. Thompson. This is Gonzo. So this is probably a book that you could find in any bookstore. Maybe not all of these are, but this one I just thought was so cool. So Hunter S. Thompson is the writer of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, as well as many other fantastic books. He also wrote a book called Hell's Angels, and it was about the time he spent with the Hells Angels. He created this Gonzo style of writing that's kind of like autobiographical mixed with journalistic. It's really awesome. So he's had a crazy life. I am so excited to read through this, but I just thought that this was a really cool book to find. It also has an intro from Johnny Depp, who was really close friends with Hunter S. Thompson when he was alive. This was probably full price, so it was $8, worth every penny. Very excited to read this and learn even more about him. There's also some pictures in here as well, so very excited. Next up here, this is kind of like the John Milton book. This is Dante's Inferno. I have quite a few copies of this, as you guys know, and I talk about it any chance I get because it is one of my favorite stories. But this is an illustrated version, so it has all of these crazy illustrations, and this is another epic poem about Dante's journey through the rings of hell. This was probably the full price of $11. Definitely worth it. I love this book. I think it's so beautiful. Again, it's not in like the best quality, but I don't care. I'm so glad to add this to my collection. Again, it's not one that I'll like highlight or anything, but it's just a really cool book to have. All right, next up here we have They're Here, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, a tribute. This book is so cool. It has a lot of famous writers like Stephen King, Dean Koontz, and things like that, and they pay tribute to Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I believe there's talk of the movie and the remake in here, and I just love books that talk about kind of behind the scenes of films and like where horror was created, where it came from. I find that so interesting. So definitely excited to really sit down and dive into this. I've read bits and pieces, but I haven't read the whole thing yet. Really cool find. This guy was $2.50. So the next thing up here, I have Horror People. So this is, I mean, this is so cool. I got a bunch of these books, and they were from someone online was selling them, and there's a whole ton right here. I don't know if you can see, but probably like 10 or 15 of these books, and they're all about horror movies and the behind the scenes and that kind of thing. This one has directors, it talks about writers, and then it does have a bunch of monster movie, Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi kind of stuff in it too. But it's not this book specifically, it's all of these books, but I didn't want to show you one by one, but I lucked out. I got them all for 20 bucks, and they just have so much information specifically about the Universal monsters, but there are other things in here too. I flipped through this and saw like a Rosemary's Babies. It talks more than just Universal monsters, but really fantastic. I love books like this. I love, like I said, learning the behind the scenes of movies. This anthology is so fun. It's one of my favorite anthologies that I've ever found, and it's called Horrors, 365 Scary Stories. Get your daily dose of terror. So you're just thinking, okay, a story a day for horror, that's cute, right? No, the cuteness does not end there. The back says, and I'm going to read this to you because honestly it's so cool. It says, maximum strength horror fiction. Indications. For fast-acting relief from peace of mind. Provides a daily dose of terror guaranteed to induce thrills, chills, and shocks. When taken as an antidote to the ordinary, stories alleviate feelings of security and the belief that what you can't see can't hurt you. Dosage. Stories deliver powerful jolts to the imagination, stimulate feelings of uneasiness, and suppress the benign appearance of the everyday. To be administered every 2 to 3 pages in continuous reading. Most effective at night when the house is still and the darkness outside encroaches. Active ingredients: abominable monstrosities, dark and stormy nights, demons, evil incantations, fog-shrouded streets, malevolent children, psychopaths, reanimated corpses, and things that go bump in the night. And warnings: do not exceed personal threshold levels for fright, do not take if weak of heart, frail of constitution, or easily disturbed by the unpredictable eruption of the irrational into normal order. Not recommended for those who identify too closely with the characters or their inescapable dooms. Overdosage may lead to sleepless nights, paranoia, nightmares, or general feelings of uneasiness. And then it says stories may prove addictive, and then at the very end it says for literary use only, keep out of reach of the timid. I think that this is one of the cutest anthologies that I have ever found. It is so original and unique and cool. I love finding stuff like this, and I hope that one day I can create a book like this because this is just so fun. So anyways, it's 365 stories, and I guarantee I will be doing a dedicated video on that at some point in the future. Next up here we have Kafka. This is a biography of Franz Kafka, who I talk about a lot, and I absolutely love his writing, and I'm just really excited to learn even more about his life. Yeah, this is just a book I found. This was $14.95. I'm not sure if this was half off or not. Probably not. I probably paid the full price for it, but honestly I would have bought it originally, you know what I mean, for like 25 bucks or whatever. So I don't even care. It's a hardback. It's in pretty good condition, and yeah, I'm just excited to read more about Franz Kafka. And then the last book that I've selected is this Zombies: An Illustrated History of the Undead. This book is so cool. So this just talks you through zombies. It tells you where they started from. Yeah, the origins of zombies in history, early zombies in literature, Romero zombies, Spanish zombies, European zombies. I'm so excited. I mean, a book like this is just, it's absolutely priceless. I bet I could find even more amazing zombie films in here as well that I've probably never even heard of. So very excited for this. This is one of my favorite finds, and this was $4.50. My used bookstore is fantastic. So those are the books that I have selected that are the best that I think I found from my used bookstore. I like things that are, you know, original, that you can't just walk into a Barnes & Noble and find, and I think that my bookstore always provides just the most fantastic books. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys want a part 2, I would love to do that, because there are plenty of other books that are, you know, favorites that I found. This is kind of like my first go through, and I know that, for example, I have another signed copy that I found. I have some really cool Alfred Hitchcock stuff. So if you guys want a part 2, please let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you soon with another horror video, which will probably just be a book haul because I'm addicted to buying books and I can't stop. Okay, bye.